Go.
Okay, I'm Chuck Liddell, and we're having another session of everything you want to know. I like to include the end of it, but we're afraid to ask. So now's your chance to ask those questions that you don't want to go around trying to find somebody to answer them. Today is May 10th, and we're going to be starting off with a little intro, and then I'm going to open it to Q&A. I really prefer the Q&A because that helps me to know what you're thinking about. I used to do this as a way of a lecture, and I kept thinking how stupid, because I may not be touching upon anything you're interested in. So that's the reason I'm asking you to fill out cards now, or as I talk, and just submit it to me, and I'll make sure that I get your questions answered. So the one I'm going to do in 2 weeks is going to be what it's been like to be here for 76 years, what changes have happened, some reminiscing on my birthday. But today I thought I would be a little lighter. I want to share some of the 500 questions that I have received when I was the greeter for the cruise ships and cross-channel boats. I did it for 3 years. I answered over 64,000 questions. I greeted almost 70,000 people. I kept track of them, so I know I'm not just making up numbers. And I came up with 800 strange and unusual questions and comments. So I'm planning to write that book. I'm working on it now. I have the body of it now. I just need to work on the graphics and everything else. So I'm just going to share some of that. Oh, I saw somebody back there. Share some of that. So this will be kind of the lighter one. 2 weeks from now will be lighter too, but it'll be a little more emotional because of having to tell you what life has changed here on the island. So I'm going to start off by asking all of you to dumb down. So we'll hear your voices, but we won't see your faces. Okay, what do you think this is the most asked question you can ask any islander? He or she will verify it. This is the most asked question that any of us have ever gotten, and it is probably the most bizarre. I'll use that as a good word. So I'll make it easy for you. What is the most bizarre question you can ask about Catalina Island?
Is there any spirits or is there any ghosts? Is there any spirits or any ghosts floating around the Catalina?
That could be any place. That could be anywhere in the world.
Is it a part of the USA?
That's a good question, but we weren't. So they're actually. See, you're thinking too hard. Really dumb down.
Do you take dollars here?
Why not? Okay, I'll make it easier.
That's a good one.
Okay.
I've been asked that one right here at the library.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, think of a question about any island that would be a very stupid question about an island.
Is it closer than Hawaii?
People have asked me if Palos Verdes Peninsula is Hawaii. And I said, you really weren't a geography major, were you? No, see, again, you're thinking too hard.
Do you have a grocery store here?
Well, unfortunately, I'm dealing with an intelligent group. Are you ready? Is Catalina Island surrounded by water?
What?
See, I told you.
Oh, I never guessed that in 100 years.
Oh, good to know it.
Well, I know my boat was died in the middle of the ocean trying to get back to the mainland. It's like this island's pulling me back in.
So I usually tell them only during high tide. As an answer, because I don't know how else that, as an ex-teacher, I should have said, definition of an island is a body of land surrounded by water, but obviously if they have to ask that question, I don't think they're really up on educated answers, so I just try to come up with a...
And try not to be condescending.
Okay, there is one that I am condescending to, only because my brain is ready to explode, and my brain tells me that, Chuck, if you don't come up with something a little sarcastic, your brain's going to blow up. There's going to be blood pouring out of your ears, your nose, all your orifices. And this is one I get that I really have the hardest time dealing with. When I would hand out, when people would get off the cruise ship or the cross-channel boats, I had a bunch of maps. I was working with the Chamber of Commerce. You know, because you were my map man.
Yep.
Yeah, you were the one sitting next to me handing out maps that they wanted one. So I would say, as helpful as I can, would you like to have a map? Right.
That'd be
Yeah.
education, yeah.
Okay. Guess what the responses often were?
No, I know everything, where everything's at.
No. Is that a map of here?
No, the North Pole.
So,
No, I got these the last time I was in Hawaii.
so my brain is ready to explode. So I said, well, I've already gone through all of my maps of Auckland, New Zealand. So we don't have any more of those, so I thought I might as well hand out some of Catalina. I mean,
I love that, I love it.
no, I know, but
I love your answer. I
What-
love
what-
that. I would have been more sarcastic. I would have been more condescending. I would have said, well, you know, down in Northern Light, there's some mooses, white mooses over there, so I will give you a map of those.
that's right, I'll give you a map of, but anyway, the one that still is the closest to my heart is when I was, so when this is over, I'll give you a few more, but I think the ones, there was, when I used to greet the boats, the cross-channel boats on the pier, because the cruise ship would come in on not the tenders, they would come in on the water taxis.
Okay.
So originally I started on the pier and then I make my way out to the mole where we all come in for two. So I'm on one side of the pier and I see on the other side an elderly woman talking to, turned out, her son and her daughter-in-law and her grandson. And they're having kind of a animated conversation. Suddenly I hear her say, I'm gonna ask him. He should know the answer. And I'm thinking, it's time for me to move.
Yeah.
I don't want to get involved in a family situation.
Run.
So she comes over to me and she said, sir, I said, what's your problem? She said, sir, my grandson just informed me that he got us on a kayak tour.
Okay.
And I said, well, that's wonderful. But she said, he's trying to convince me the kayaks go on the water and not the land.
Well, like they said, that you can sail dry ship on desert land
Well,
with sand.
So anyway,
Oh, boy.
I knew I was in trouble. So she had that look on her face that I did not want to, I was going to handle her with kid gloves. So I looked up to God and said, God, I could be struck down on this one,
Uh-oh.
but realize my intent is to be helpful to her and nice, but so don't kill me now, but if it's that bad. So I looked at her with a straight face. I said, kayaks used to go on dry land, but they weren't that popular. So we've decided to take them into the water and see if we get more reaction.
Oh, that's nice.
But she had, it made her feel good. Because,
Yes.
because again, she was not wrong.
But she's not right either.
Well, no, things have changed.
Ah.
So anyway, so she heads back to the family. And I'm grabbing my equipment to run away as quickly as I can. And all I can remember seeing is the son, the daughter-in-law, and the grandson all pointing to me and said, obviously. So I'm heading out of there. The thing is funny, they actually do have kayak races
I'm trying that.
on land. It's during, when they have a big rain and there's mud on the hill.
Oh, yeah.
They actually do it, so I wasn't that far off.
They've done that here?
No, not here.
Okay.
But I mean, people
Other
do get
places.
in a kayak going down mud slopes, so I'm not that, but I think the most ridiculous, not ridiculous, it was the most surprising one I ever had. Two ladies, I guess they had to be in their 30s or 40s, got off the ship. They were wearing very loose sweatshirts. And they came to me and said, do you know the rules of Catalina? And I said, well, they're pretty much the same as the mainland. She said, are men allowed to go to the beach with their tops off? I said, yes. She said, are women allowed to go on the beach with their tops off? I said,
No.
no. And she said, why? And I was trying to explain. She literally took her sweater, pulled it over her head. She had a double mastectomy.
Oh my goodness.
She said, what about these? And I'm in shock. I mean, first I'm in shock when I started doing this, but when I saw, so basically she has no
Breast.
sexual,
No breasts, yeah.
no breasts, so what's
What's the difference?
yeah. So I quickly got on the phone and I called the sheriff's department. I knew the captain. I said, we may have a problem here. I said, this woman, I'm proud of her. She's very, open about her situation, but I have a feeling she may want to try to see what she can get away with on the beach. So I said, when would you ask her to leave, actually send people down there to remove her from the beach? She said, if people complain. I said, about what? She has nothing up there. So I said, you better look into the disability, American disability, whatever it's called, and find out if that is considered a disability, because we could hit the headlines in every news story around the world showing police officers removing a woman from the beach with a double mastectomy. So I said, you better have all your ducks lined up. You better know what you're doing, because if she does something, and she might just out of, but you better know how you're going to handle it, because we could really be in a major problem.
Yeah, national news, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Easily,
how
yeah.
friendly Catalina is.
Or discrimination on women with.
Of course, for having a double. So
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much my introduction. But I just thought, okay, do we have any more time?
We can keep going.
Okay.
I got a few minutes.
Okay, so here are some of the things about Catalina. If this is the Pacific Ocean, is that the Atlantic Ocean?
No,
Very good.
I know, I passed.
You passed.
Yay.
If this is salt water here, is it fresh water over there?
Maybe.
You're
No.
making this very difficult.
I know, I'm playing with you. No, of course not.
I had a man, with all seriousness, come up to me and said, where is the tunnel connecting us to the mainland, to Long Beach? I said, we don't have any. He
Why?
said,
Houdini does.
huh? Well, he said, you must have one. I said, no. I said, why must we have one? He said, because you have all these cars over here and no place to go. So you must have a way. You must be going to the mainland. And I said, I'm sorry, sir. We don't. Well, I did this about 3 or 4 times. I had people waiting. On occasion, I would have 220 questions an hour of people wanting to get answers. Well, I had them piling up and arguing with this man about the tunnel. So I said, sir, you finally broke me down. I can't lie anymore. Yes, we have a tunnel connecting here to Long Beach. And I said, I'll tell you how you can find it. Next time you're in Long Beach, take your car and go down the beach. And if you see a wave breaking irregularly, drive your car directly into that wave. One of 2 things are going to happen. You're either going to find the tunnel or you're going to wipe your car out. That was the end of our conversation.
Or get arrested.
For what? driving your car down the beach. I don't know, maybe you, I don't know.
Insanity signs?
What?
Insanity signs?
That's what'll happen.
So, anyway, and I like this one. This is one I got yesterday. Yesterday from a new teacher up at the school.
Okay.
I
Uh-oh.
won't tell you his name.
Thank you for that part.
Okay. I was taking him because he was late for a meeting yesterday. And I was downtown. I could tell he was in a hurry. I said, could I take you where? He said, yes, I want to go to the school. And I talked to him. So he said, where are you from? I said, I was born on Catalina, 76 years ago almost. And he looked at me and he said, you must be one of the founding fathers.
Well,
I
congratulations.
said, founding fathers of what? He said, obviously you were born in this town before there was a town. I said, no. Neither am I that old. I said, the town goes back to 1887, and I was born in 47, but he was very serious. He thought that the island, or Avalon, the way we see it now, there was nothing 76 years ago when I was born here, which is sort of a slap in my face that I look that old, but I told him how old I was. But then I've had people say, where do you find natives? Where do you find the natives, which means you're born here? Where can you find them?
Come to the library.
And if you find them, are they friendly?
You know, I'll bring my pots and pans and whack them over there.
Yeah, they could turn very nasty if they wanted to. I heard this one lady came up to me all shocked. She said, I just talked to a young lady who told me she was born on the island, and my gosh, she acted so normal.
How are you guys supposed to have?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, but
I
again,
go.
and they wanted to know when the running of the bison, like they do in Spain, the running of the bulls. They wanted
What a
to know.
great idea, though. The running of the bison would be awesome.
When I always ask them, I said, when are you leaving the island?
When the bison chase them off the island.
Well, no, but I always say, so they say, well, I'm on the cruise ship. I said, well, the cruise ship's going to leave at 5. The running of the bison are going to be at 6. So I'm sorry you're going to miss it. Or if they're on the 3:45 boat, I said it's going to be 5 o'clock. In other words, I just wanted them to know that they're going to miss the running of the bison. Then they asked me, do we rotate the bison?
What?
Oh, yes. It's like musical chairs.
That's right, yeah. They stay here so long, and then we have to get a new breed. Do we cut off their hair when it gets too long so they're not hot during the summer? Do we cut off all the bison's hair?
Yeah, we put them in stalls and put air conditioner in there.
Do the deer commute back and forth to the mainland?
Oh, dear.
Do they swim? Oh dear.
Yeah, dear.
They've also asked me, do the people on the island, do you live here, or does everybody commute back and forth to the mainland? 4,000 people are going to commute every day to the mainland.
Personally, I like to live in a tent and with air conditioner in.
So they don't have any idea. They think they said, we think the buildings are all facades.
Oh, like on the set of like Hollywood?
Yes.
Or
This
Disneyland,
doesn't
or like
look
Disneyland.
this doesn't look like a normal town.
What's normal?
Yeah, it was. But then when I was working, creating questions, some of the officers told me, if you think these questions are bad, wait till you hear the ones we get on the cruise ship.
Oh, my dear. Oh, my gosh.
There was a lady that wanted her money back,
Oh, dear.
and the purser or whoever it was said, what's your problem? She said, this is Celebrity Cruise Line, isn't it? And I said, she said, yes. I have looked everywhere. I have yet to see one celebrity.
I knew we were going down that road.
They had another man that says, before the ship pulled out, he said, I got a port side cabin.
Okay.
for purposely because I want to see every one of the ports as we go in. Well, that's, a little, that's not. But then he complained. He said, all I've seen so far is a parking lot. And the officer said, sir, we haven't left the port yet. The cruise hasn't started. You're looking out your window
Too soon.
to a port. And he said, I didn't pay to get a view of the... they also had, he said, they had a family. The cruise ships are getting pretty large. They have like 5 or 6 layers. This man said, my family are on the other levels. Is this ship all going to the same place?
No, the
my
top
God.
part is going in a different direction, going to the Northern Light, and this part going down Panama.
That's right.
Now I know why you only did it for 3 years.
No, I loved it, but after a while, I was sort of afraid of what new ones. So I have 500 of these.
Oh my
I got
goodness.
rid of the ones that made any sense, like, do you take America, that. Oh, I had people ask, do you have English magazines and newspapers here?
They're all in Avalonian.
Yeah, they're all.
Avalon.
Was this island named after your cat population?
Cat.
Alina, because we
got
have so many cats.
Oh.
So I'm going
No,
to.
no. We renamed it from Dogalina. We renamed it to Catalina from Dogalina.
Dogalina?
Yeah, they had all dogs.
Oh, Dogalina. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we do have more dogs. I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell you what the title of the book's going to be, but we're going to have a book signing here when I get it done. But
Anytime soon?
I have it all written, but the subtitle is going to be, unfortunately, these people vote and procreate. It's kind of, I don't know if you ever remember the thing, they used to have the Darwin Awards.
Oh, yeah.
Well, every question I would get are basically level of Darwin Awards, but those are usually people that did ridiculous things to themselves physically and survived, or died not trying, they had some pretty, I remember reading about one guy that tried to commit suicide, and it took him 5 times, and he couldn't do it. He jumped over a cliff with a rope, the rope broke, he kept trying. So finally he gave up and said, I don't want to kill myself. And then as he was walking home, he get hit by a car and he killed. So anyway, I think that's all on this topic.